That looks like, yes it is, it's my favorite fifth graders. Is it really you? This is marvelous. I'm so happy to see you. I hope you haven't forgotten me. Surely you haven't forgotten your favorite natural history teacher, have you? Well, girls, I've missed you so very much. And I've enjoyed so many beautiful things this spring and walked in so many beautiful places. And each time I say to myself, if only they were here and we could share it together. Unfortunately, it hasn't been able to happen, but I'm sure you've seen many beautiful things on your own. I thought we could start by doing something simple together because I'm at a loss of how to make a great video and I'm not such a great photographer. I thought we'd begin simply by taking a walk together in Kensington. So come, let's take a walk. I'm sure you've seen all the violets all over the ground everywhere. They're just beautiful, these deep purple flowers very low to the ground. And I wanted to point out that in addition to the purple ones, there's sometimes these white ones with beautiful purple striations. And so to keep an eye out for those as well. The magnolia trees were flowering for so long with their big white flowers. And now, many of them, the flowers have passed. You might be able to see 1 or 2 flowers left. And they're all leafing out with bright spring green leaves. So, don't know if you're able to see it. There's one last bloom on this branch here, but almost all leaves. And, well, lo and behold, do you recognize this place? I think you know this place. Look at this. It's your own beloved Warner Circle in the springtime. Full of greenery and things changing. And, oh, do you recognize this one? I don't know if you can see the deep burgundy color, but what has deep burgundy leaves? Palmate leaves, kind of like stars. It's, of course, your favorite, the Japanese maple. I'm sure you recognize this large, venerable tree that shows, does it show any green? Does it show any blooms? No, it's a spring slowpoke. What is this spring slowpoke? You girls know it too well. It's our black walnut. If you look very closely, it has some little buds, but no green showing yet. Do you remember this one with its smooth bark? It's our good friend, the beech tree. Not too many of them around Kensington, but they're so lovely. Let's get a closer look. And maybe you can see the beech tree's little flowers, hanging flowers. I'm afraid they're too high for you to see. Your good friend the owl is still here. He's not too affected by coronavirus. And he's surrounded by a host of beautiful daffodils. Some of my favorites are the ones that have the orange trumpets. As well as by another Japanese maple. This one is a green one with its delicate little green leaves looking like stars. And here is a cherry tree, much like other cherry trees, with its beautiful pinkish, whitish blossoms. But do you see anything different about it? It has hanging branches. It's a weeping cherry. And they're just lovely. I'm not sure you're able to see it well, but these hanging branches full of pink-white blooms. Near the base of the beech tree, I found a little patch of, look at that. Do you remember? And another patch here. It's that little spring flower that we called winter aconite. Might actually have another name, I found out. It might be lesser celandine. But in any case, I was wondering who was trying to plant some of this before school let out. And here's another patch again. Could it be the garden of those 5th graders trying to plant a little garden here? This is another type of magnolia. I call it a magnolia cousin. And it's got such beautiful, brilliant blooms. Let's get close so you can look at them. I'm sure you've seen them, these big purplish blooms. And they're just lovely. And before there were just the blooms and no leaves, but now you can see the leaves are starting to come out as well. Girls, I found a Japanese maple with really low branches so we could get a good look at these maple trees, palmate, but with many lobes and that beautiful deep burgundy color we've enjoyed. And I wanted to show you something else. If we cross the street in this very familiar spot, we come to this tree here that was full of hanging brown pods. I'm sure you recall all those brown pods. And it had heart-shaped leaves all through the summer and fall. And now look what it's got. Oh, I'm so dismayed that the camera can't catch it. But it's got tiny purple flowers. They're kind of a pinkish purple, and they're just lovely. And I'm going to have to go find one that is low down to show you how beautiful these blooms are. And you will have to look for them as well in your neighborhood. Who remembers the name of it? Heart-shaped leaves and lots of pods. It is the redbud. Listen to the cardinal. You can hear his loud, insistent call. There was a red-bellied woodpecker earlier, but now he's silent. He won't perform for you. If I show you the base of this seed pod here and remind you that it was taller in the fall, hopefully you will remember this is the tulip tree or the tulip poplar. And now look what it's gone and done. It has begun to open up its leaves. Let me try to get a good view here. Its leaves are those, if I could get a good angle, they're still curled, so it's hard to see their shape. They're the tiger face leaves, or the owl faces as you prefer. And even bigger than the leaves are these big buds. Who remembers what will bloom from a tulip poplar? Do you see these bright green blooms? If they were high up, you'd hardly notice them. And we don't think of this as a blooming tree. We think of the cherry tree's blooms and the magnolia's blooms and soon the dogwood. But these, we don't think of them as blooming trees. In fact, it is a maple. I believe this is a Norway maple. And so this is the kind of thing that we often don't notice. Oh, over here, some of its leaves have opened. Look at that. Doesn't that look like a Norway maple? So these are the flowers that are usually so high up we don't notice them. I hope you've noticed other maple trees. Many of them have been red and some are green, and the maples are blooming trees despite the fact that we don't think of them that way. I just heard a song sparrow. Let's listen and see. Did you recognize that? Our dear song sparrow? These are lovely Lenten roses. A dusty pink and a white one. They're a bit shy, or maybe they're humble because they're looking down. Let's lift them up and see. Beautiful early spring flowers. Look what is just beginning to flower. These bushes that are very, very common and come in all colors are first azaleas. I thought you might enjoy seeing Silver Creek again. That was a white-throated sparrow. Oh, let me wait for the car to pass. Listen carefully. Oh, he's being silent. Come on, white-throated sparrow. Sing for us. Oh, he stopped. All right, we'll try again later and hope. All right, we're approaching the creek. Come on, girls, where are you all? Uh-oh. Let's see. Oh, Lucia and Eve are far behind. They've been chatting so much. Edna and Lily have their hands and pockets full of beautiful things they've found. Bridie, oh, there she is. She's fashioning a fishing pole from a stick and some string she had. Michaela, Michaela's precisely trying to identify each thing she sees. Lily Mendelson? Oh dear, Lily Mendelson's gotten far ahead. Uh-oh. Molly and Natalia are being silly in the creek. I fear they'll fall in. And where are the others? Oh dear, even further ahead. Girls! I can't believe it. We just saw a wood duck. I don't know if you saw it or if it was too far away. I just saw a wood duck. That's amazing. All right, I'm going to be silent for a moment because that white-throated sparrow came back again. He's not regular, so I don't know if he'll sing for us, but let's just give it one more try. Come on, white-throated sparrow. In the meantime, would you look at this carpet of winter aconite, which I found out is really called lesser celandine. Look at it. It's a veritable carpet. It's a carpet beautiful enough for a queen. And that stubborn little white-throated sparrow won't sing for us. Troublemaker. Let's walk together along the creek. I'm going to jump this tiny gully and look at this lovely little tiny trail that we're passing through. Oh dear, I turned it on because I had just heard a red-bellied woodpecker, and instead a lawnmower comes on. I'll try again later. There's the lost girl I was looking for. There's Vivi splashing in the middle of the creek. Come now, Vivi, join your classmates. And here you girls can splash and enjoy the creek a bit. Don't get your Brookwood skirts muddy, just your feet. And if we cross the creek, I see Audrey. What was it that Audrey ran ahead to do? I just crossed the bank of Silver Creek and found Audrey, who had run ahead because, scientist and teacher that she is, she wanted you girls to see red bud blooms. She found a low-hanging red bud tree so that we could look and see these baby little blooms, tiny, tiny, precious little blooms with some of the leaves just starting to come out. Thank you, Audrey, for running ahead and finding that. All right, girls. Better dry off your feet and put your shoes on. We need to get back to school. Wherever you live, I'm sure you have noticed that some of the maples are putting out their first little helicopters. Sweet springtime helicopters. The different species have different colors and different timing. Some of them have had it out for a while, some not yet. All right, we're almost back to school. Thank you so much for walking with me, girls. I'm sorry the sun didn't shine for us. It would have made the colors in the video brighter. But I never did know a Brookwood girl who let a little clouds disturb her walk.